Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coach and Company. My name is Peyton Lodge. That's right. It's young Peyton, aka young host boy, in the chair today on this fantastic Friday morning here on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium is. We're on Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, Roku TV, Direct TV, Vizio, LG, and if I have my math right, that's in over 100 million homes. Don't forget to check out our Demerbox link here in the chat and in the description to check that out as well. And we're loving every minute of what we got here on Stadium at 10 a.m. Eastern time every weekday morning. Yes, it's 7 o'clock in the morning here in Southern California. And I'm this fired up. Why? Because we have one heck of a show for you guys lined up today. But first, we must take a look at how we did last night. Not a bad night at all for us. We went 7 for 11. When Zach Wheeler gives up 6 earned runs against the Phillies, you still go 7 for 11. That's a pretty darn good day. So we run it back now as we got one heck of a crew with us, and we finally get to bring these guys in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to beat the books. Oh man, am I lucky to have my first ever live television show with the absolute best of the best, except for Soupy, of course. I'm starting with Raphael. Today at 2 o'clock on our YouTube page, we got Seabass joining Weekday Wagers. Raphael, first off, good morning. Second, has Weekday Wagers reached out to you regarding their show?
Nope. My agent told me I've got no phone calls, but hey, the show is about line movement and current lines, and they bring in a chef. So, hey, I can't wait to watch the show today. But congratulations on the gig, Peyton. Wait, we're getting younger. That means Baby Raph can be the next host because we're getting younger and younger. So I can't wait for that.
Definitely could. Baby Raph, actually older than me. They call him ROI Capper, the man, Big Chuck. How you doing today, sir?
Morning, young Pate Man and company. I was fortunate enough to be on the Weekday Wagers. I don't know if they'll have me back, but I was fortunate enough to get on at least one show. So, hey, I'm excited to get this weekend going. Got a little Footy Friday to get your weekend started. Let's get it going.
Little Footy Friday for sure, coming right up. Next up is our boy Mikey P. How are we doing today, sir?
I am doing well. Congrats on the first day. And I have not been invited on Weekday Wagers, but I am on your show, your first hosting show. So it's a great Friday here.
Definitely a pleasure to have you on my first show today. And oh man, I get to host a show that my rival Soupy is on. Let's go. Hey, Soupy, is Tuesday's prize fight still stinging a little bit? How are we doing today?
Hey, congratulations. You actually didn't have to make up a single rule or anything. You actually beat me legit. So I'm going to give you a little golf clap there. And again, good first couple of minutes. Don't be nervous. There's only millions of people watching, all the stadium execs, your parents, your pastor, your therapist, everybody's watching, but don't be nervous.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to get to Raphael here on the best bets. Let's get right to it. Raph, where are we headed today?
We're going to the late game in baseball today between the Twins and Mariners. We're going to take the over 7 lane of famous 3 nickels. See, those last 3 games they've hit this total over, and all 3 of them, because their bullpen has been awful. They're giving up runs left and right, and I think we're going to see the same thing. I think the Twins will be able to score tonight. But the last 9 meetings between these 2 teams, 6 of them have gone over, so I think 7. That was going to be 7.5, so I think there's value with laying the 3 nickels at the total at 7. And then, hey, ladies, we're going to the WNBA because there's no NBA playoffs. There's no NHL playoffs today, but the ladies are on the court tonight. And I can't wait to watch Kelsey Plum come back to Las Vegas to play her former team. I'm taking the Sparks Aces. Both teams to score over 77.5. I think the pace is going to be really high. They're going to want to – Aces are going to want to beat the Sparks, showing, hey, you guys, you left us. You could have signed. And then Plum's going to want to come back and say, hey, you know what? I wanted to sign. You guys didn't want me. I'm going to have a big game. I think both these teams score a lot of points. Wouldn't shock me if they both hit the high 80s.
Sparks Aces, let's go. Pumped to watch that one tonight. Mike P., where are we headed today?
I am heading to Major League Baseball because, yes, there is no basketball. Yes, there is no hockey. So I am going all in on my 2 favorite style of bets in baseball, and I am starting with Merrill Kelly of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's had 31 combined strikeouts over his last 4 starts, so I am taking him for 5 or more strikeouts in his start tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then I am staying with, I know, young Peyton, I know you're an Angels guy. This might be the first time ever someone is rooting for the Athletics, because I am going with Jacob Wilson, 2 or more total bases at a plus 110. If I would have told you that Jacob Wilson, the rookie shortstop for the A's, was third in batting average in Major League Baseball, you'd be like, who? So give me those 2 plays today.
Absolute rookie of the year. The guy is on a tear right now. Probably the only athletic one on the Athletics. Soupy, where are we going?
We're starting with the series of the weekend, Dodgers, Yankees. I'm going with Dodgers under a run in the first 3. I think Max Fried is going to have a solid first 3 innings. Dodgers are batting 203 and 203 at bats, so Fried has plenty of experience. And batters are hitting 167 in their first plate appearance against Fried this year, and they're batting 211 in Fried's pitches 1 through 50. So in a very efficient first 3 innings for Fried. And then I'm going to my Connecticut Sun plus 12.5 against the Fever. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they're going to get their first win of the season against Fever, but I think they'll stay competitive. It's all about the defense. The Sun, they are second to last in points allowed, but the Fever, they're 7th. They're right in the middle. I think that's how they're going to be able to stay in this game. And then, of course, there's no Caitlin Clark, so I think they can stay competitive, but I don't think they're going to get their first win of the year, though.
Got a World Series rematch going today. Max Fried against Tony Gonsolin. Max Fried 7-0 with an ERA of 1.29 and a whip under 1 of 0.94. What an impressive start for the left-hander from here, Studio City. But let's head over to Charles, guys, because it's really adorable that we all have a couple picks today, but it's Friday. So Big Chuck has himself a 5-pack of plays for us today. That's right, a 5-pack. It's time for Footy Friday. Man, I wouldn't be surprised to see if Charles had on soccer cleats right now. Big Chuck, where are we headed today, sir?
Little Footy Friday, and we're going to start on Saturday. We have the Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan, and with the Parisians scoring an average of 1.8 team goals during their travels during European play, and Inter Milan have scored an average of 1.3 team goals on the road. Play number 1, both teams to score. I see a 1-1 final score at worst in this one. Plus, I'm going to add Inter Milan over 3.5 corners. The Italians, they average 5.8 corners per match. I just think this number is just way too low, in my opinion. MLS Saturday night, Orlando City face the Chicago Fire. The both teams to score in over 2.5. This play is actually cashed in these 2 teams. In 8 of these 2 teams' last 11 combined matches, I see a 2-2, 2-1 either way type final score. Lastly, we have Inter Miami in the Columbus Crew. First half, over 1.5 goals. These 2 teams have produced 2 or more first half goals in 5 of their last 8 meetings. And then Lionel Messi, anytime goal scorer. He's coming off a 2-goal performance his last time out midweek, and he has scored 5 goals in his last 6 matches. I think he nets 1 on Saturday night.
And if you want to be a part of what our boy Charles is all about, all you have to do is scan the QR code that's going to pop up right here. It'll take you right to roicapper.com/store. Can it be any easier? Come on now, Big Chuck, aka the silent killer. Why? He's so quiet about dominating his picks. It's insanely impressive what our boy does day in and day out, especially with his premium plays. He likes to throw in the other 4 days of the week for us. The guy's constantly on fire, Soupy. Maybe I should be doing a prize fight with some real competition. And to be clear, those picks are for tomorrow, Big Chuck.
That is correct. That all goes down on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, speaking of on fire, we got another one of those guys in our boy Mark from Just the Stats Sports. Mark, it's such a blessing to see that hair today. How are you doing? And where are we going today?
Doing great, Peyton. Thank you so much. And today's play of the day comes with a little extra magic because it's the birthday of a Mrs. Carol Ergola, better known around here as the fairy godmother. And we're putting that birthday energy behind New York Yankee Paul Goldschmidt to get at least 1 hit today. Goldie's averaging almost 2 hits a game over his last 6, and we're going to pair that with Chicago Cubs' Nico Horner to get a hit. Something he's done in 18 to 25 home games this year. 2 guys swinging hot bats, a little fairy godmother magic. Going to have us all celebrating when this plus 102 Justice Stat Sports Play of the Day cashes. Happy birthday, Carol. This one's for you.
Happy birthday, Carol. All right. I absolutely love it, Mark. Use the QR code right there. It'll take you right to the site. Then all you got to do is use code BTT30. And you might ask yourself, little host boy, why the heck would I do that? Well, you get your first 30 days absolutely free if you do so. Mark, your model at JTS last night dominated yet again with the Oilers on the money line and Leon Draisaitl to have a point in that one. You were all over that game last night.
Yeah, the model absolutely killed it last night against, especially in the NHL. We had Connor McDavid hit, Draisaitl hit, and obviously the Oilers on the money line. And if you caught the weekday wager show at 2 o'clock Eastern every Monday through Thursday, you also know that I sprinkled the puck line on Edmonton as well.
Yeah, and Raphael, I'm going to come over to you for a second on this NHL playoff, what we got going on here. Edmonton has just been pure domination recently, especially offensively. So your take on Edmonton's pure domination, even with Dallas not really doing much.
Well, the series price opened up between Florida, Edmonton -110, -115. If you like the defending champs, wait, because that -120 on Edmonton series price will happen sometime today or early tomorrow, where Florida will be plus money underdogs for the Stanley Cup. But I like Edmonton to host the Cup during the Stanley.
Wow, Edmonton. Yeah, I mean, Edmonton has been dominating the entire playoffs, especially on the offensive end. And Charles, who do we got here? And we're going to get to it in a few minutes, probably later on in the show. But who do you have? Quick look ahead in a rematch of the NHL Stanley Cup final.
My original pick was going to be Florida, but I have to wonder if they're being their third consecutive season in the finals, if it's going to take a toll on them. Edmonton, they should be hungry after last season. They have all the motivation. At this moment, I would kind of lean towards Edmonton. I may be changing my pick from Florida.
I like Edmonton too. Soupy, where are you going?
I've been riding Edmonton since the start of the playoffs. I'm going to keep going. We're starting to see those deeper lines start to participate. They were the ones that were scoring in these last couple of games. And the defense has been a lot better. 3 shutouts between game, I believe, game 6 in Las Vegas and this series against Dallas. It's going to be tough going against the Panthers. The Panthers defense still looks really good. Those front lines are working really well for them, but I'm still going to take Edmonton.
Yeah, 3 shutouts has been what's really surprised us most, I think, from Edmonton throughout the playoffs or throughout the last couple of series for sure. Mikey P, where are you going with this? I know the Bruins aren't there, but where are you going?
I'm going to go Edmonton as well. I mean, this is what hockey wants, right? You have a rematch from last year's finals that went 7 games. You couldn't ask for anything better unless you were a fan of another team. I think this is an electric Stanley Cup Finals rematch, and I think we're going to see amazing series between the two teams, but give me Edmonton.
So Panthers sweep, since all of us at Edmonton, Panthers sweep.
I was just going to say, I am all over the Panthers, given what everybody just said.
So we're going to go to maybe, 7? I hope we go to another 7 games because the last series went to 7, Mark, last season. So the only thing that we've seen change is the Panthers with Brad Marchand.
The Panthers got better, and that's why I can't believe that I'm the only one on this panel who's like, I'm all in on the Panthers to win this. Is it a close game? Absolutely, but I have more on that later.
Oh, man. Are we having a good time today, guys? If you're not having fun, then get the heck out of here. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Still to come after the break, guys, we got prize picks from Soupy. We got another segment for Soupy because it's very simple. We call that one word. We're hooping it up today because NBA playoffs are just about to get interesting. The Knicks finally win a game. Let's go. And the Pacers finally shoot like human beings. A World Series rematch tonight here in Los Angeles. All of that still to come on this fantastic Friday morning. It's Coach and Company live on Stadium.
I'm going with Barry Bonds. Look, pitchers don't pitch to Barry Bonds. Greg Maddux said it best. He was the easiest to pitch against because you don't pitch against him. You walk him. Even pre-steroid era, those first 2 seasons, they still didn't pitch to him. I love Aaron Judge. I love the fact Aaron Judge did it clean, but I don't care. Barry Bonds did things that nobody else will ever do. PEDs or not, He hit the ball to Mars every time it was pitched to him. And that's only when he saw pitches.
Guess what? On steroids, Robbie, you can hit the ball to Mars too, all right? Aaron Judge did it clean in an era where pitchers are throwing 101 with wicked sliders. Bonds never faced this kind of velocity on every pitch. And Judge smashed 62 homers in a season where shifts, analytics, and elite bullpens were all center stage. Listen, Judge didn't need Balco to break records. Okay, he did that on his own.
So
and
far,
he will not have an asterisk behind his name in the Hall.
45 plus home runs, Barry Bonds 6, Aaron Judge 3. And that's with Bonds barely getting pitched to.
Wow.
You know, Mark, that was actually my favorite Weekend Wagers clip. I love split decision. And, you know, later on in that same show, you continued to say Mike Trout does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I agree with that take right here that we just saw, but the Mike Trout, you've now had 24 hours to rethink your insane accusation of that. You were saying that one of the best players in the history of the game doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. Did you really mean that?
I said what I said, and I stand by it. Absolutely. I think, first of all, in that take, Mike Trout is a phenomenal baseball player when he's healthy. The problem with Mike Trout is he's played in 30% of his games so far the last 2 seasons. How are you contributing to your team's performance when you're sitting on the bench? It's just, you know, it's interesting because the NCAA just changed the rules to allow a head coach into the Hall of Fame because he didn't qualify with enough reps. He didn't have a high enough winning percentage. Mike Trout hasn't been on the field enough.
He's the best player for a decade. Oh my God.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Stadium in 5 seconds. All right, we're back on Stadium, and everywhere that Stadium is, Peyton Lodge here today, in for the coach. You might know me as the winner of the prize fight the last 3 weeks now. So we're going to bring in Soupy here, who works at Prize Picks, allegedly. Soupy, where are we headed today on the Prize Picks board?
Start with Trent Grisham, 1.5 RBI hits and runs versus the Dodgers. He's going against Tony Gonsolin, 7 for 15 with a home run and only a 15% whiff rate. That means he's going to make contact off of Gonsolin, and I think he's going to get it done today, and I think the Yankees are going to get it done today too. But let's go with Framber Valdez, 2.5 walk. It's my demon pick of the day because if you watch Valdez, he loves to give up walks. He just came up giving up 4 walks in his last start, and he has a 16.4 walk rate against the Rays. And then, Peyton, you may not know this guy. This was a little before your time, the late 90s. I think a lot of us do remember this guy named Carlos Santana, very good guitar player, but he also plays some baseball. I'm giving him a 4.5 fantasy score. He's batting .471 in his last 7 games, and he's gone over this in the last 5. He's going against your Angels, going against Jose Soriano in your Angels. Yeah, I think he's going to have a great day.
Yeah, of course you do, because he's going against the Angels. Now, I don't know if you saw the picture of Carlos Santana this week, but he had I wonder if he does it every game. I don't know if I saw it every game, but he has a little picture going out on social media right now of his pants that are literally over his thighs. His socks over his thighs, and his pants are literally about that big.
That is the style. Now I remember when I was playing back in it was all about the loose pants, and it was all about too. I remember Barry Bonds. Let's talk about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds would take the back cuff of his pants and tuck it under the spikes, so like it would be cut off with the spike. And we all started rocking it back in the day. So there you go. Barry Bonds is a little bit influential, as we saw.
Hey, real quick. The last time you beat me 4 years ago, you sent in a video hinting at potentially putting in a good word for me at Prize Picks. Where are we with that, and what kind of discussions have been had as far as young host boy is concerned?
Oh, very, very, very intense negotiation right now. I'm trying to get you. No, I'm not doing anything for you.
Well, nonetheless, Prize Picks is a company that we really hope to get a call from one of these days here at Coach and Company, as Soupy and I continue to battle each other in the prize fight every Tuesday. Now, it's time for another segment Soupy is capable of getting through, because what could be more simple than one word? All right, very simple here, guys. I need one word on said topic. We'll go right down the line from Raphael to Mikey P. Hey, shout out to the Colorado Rockies, who didn't lose last night because they didn't play last night. They've lost 5 in a row, 14 of their last 16, 22 of their last 25. And if they keep it up, and we know they can, they're on pace to shatter the White Sox record for the worst season in Major League history. One word on the Colorado Rockies' historic slide.
Triple A. That's the one word. I'd rather watch Lehigh Valley than the Colorado Rockies play baseball. The Rockies are on pace to have a run differential of over minus 520. That will surpass the Red Sox in 1932. This team is awful.
Relegate. Kind of what Raphael's saying. By the way, it's the Albuquerque Isotopes who are the AAA team for the Rockies, because the AA are the Hartford Yard Goats. I would rather see the Hartford Yard Goats be the MLB team representing the Rockies. I do feel bad. I used to work for the Yard Goats, so a lot of these players I watched a few years ago, so I do have a little bit of a spot about this team.
This is hilarious for me. I love it. I mean, every time you open up a sports book and you're looking at the lines for the Colorado Rockies, you're like, I guess I'll just go somewhere else, because nothing makes sense financially when you're looking at a Colorado Rockies game. But the other part of this is just call the kids up. Call every kid up that you can possibly call up in the minor leagues. Charlie Condon's one of the top prospects in baseball, when healthy. Let's just get all the kids up, because they can't be worse than what they have now.
My one word is consistent. These guys are consistently hot garbage. They're on pace to finish 74 games out of first place. How awesome will it be to see a 74 under the GB category when you look at the standings? All right, topic number 2. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are the first 2 players to have 20 or more points in the first 5 games of a conference final since Shaq and Kobe in 2002. One word on Gotham City's dynamic duo.
Whoopee, because we're not going to remember this stat when the Pacers win in Game 6. Shaq and Kobe, they won something. This team of Carl, Cat, and Brunson are not going to do anything. Whoopee.
Memorable for now. Kind of going off again what Raphael said. If they don't win this series, it means absolutely nothing, and we're going to forget about it. So for now, at least, it's memorable.
Necessary, but I'm going to follow what the guys said, right? It is necessary for Brunson and Towns to have these type of games to keep the Knicks in the series, which I think is over Game 6 this weekend. It's funny, but it's not important.
My one word is relentless. The intensity these guys are playing with day in and day out is incredible, especially in Jalen Brunson. How is this guy not tired? They're picking him up full court and have bodies all over him the entire game. The guy is relentless on the offensive end. And also shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. All right, piggybacking on this, the Knicks last night dominated the Pacers, but the series is heading back to Indiana. One word on the Knicks getting back to the Garden.
Nada. But I have my BTT shirt on, and another one word I was gonna say, Vince McMahon's theme song. No chance in hell are we gonna see a game go back to Madison Square Garden. Pacers win.
Sad Pat. I'm sure Pat McAfee is probably so upset right now that this had to go back to New York after everything he said while they were in Indiana. I still think Indiana has the shot to win this. It may not even be in New York. They might have to go back, but it's a sad Pat.
Electric. Can you imagine what Indiana is going to be like? I mean, listen, we can make all the jokes, but Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, they're carrying Indiana with no Caitlin Clark on the basketball court right now. So you punch your ticket to the NBA Finals. I think this is going to be electric over the weekend.
My one word is happening because it's happening, guys. The Pacers finally shot like human beings at 40% from the field, which isn't even bad. But if the Knicks just dominated the game, if the Knicks can just hold the Pacers to something remotely close to that percentage, we're going to see the series go back to the Garden. All right, last topic. ESPN journalist Seth Wickersham is releasing a book that will reveal Caleb Williams and his father coming up with ways to avoid being drafted by the Bears. Williams now, just this week, comes out and says he wants to be a Bear for life. One word on Caleb Williams' future in Chicago.
I mean, he needs to win, so winning is my thing. But the book itself, he just said the truth. Bears quarterbacks die. They all died. The last time they were in the playoffs, Rex Grossman took them there. That's right. Rex Grossman took the Bears to the playoffs. So that book was just truthful.
Exists. I mean, the future right now does exist. It doesn't mean it's going to be long. We know it doesn't matter how good you are, where you're number one. You look at the previous number one pick, Baker Mayfield. He's not with the team he originally was with. That's the problem with the NFL is it's just so fickle. You have a couple bad years and teams want to get rid of you, and especially it's the Bears. So
my one word is legendary, although I have a 4-letter word at the top of my brain for the two guys before me. Caleb Williams is going to be legendary as a Chicago Bear. There's not a lot of history for quarterbacks in that franchise, but this guy comes out and addresses this book with a 3+ minute rant to open his press conference. He's taking this head on, and he's going to lead with Ben Johnson, the Bears back into the playoffs, and I will paint my nails every win the Bears have this season.
My one word is change. The Bears were a mess when he was being drafted. Yeah, they drafted him whether he wanted to be there or not, but now he's working with a whole new staff led by head coach Ben Johnson from the Lions and offensive coordinator Declan Doyle. With these changes, maybe he really does want to be a Bear for life. Kind of sounds a little similar, guys, to a Jet. A couple weeks ago, he said he wanted to be a Jet for life. Your take on that, Raphael?
No one wants to be a Jet for life. He just read what was in front of him.
So, Soupy, if you want to be a Jet for life, do you really think this guy would want to be a Bear for life? We're kind of talking about very similar organizations here.
Yeah, very similar organizations of mediocrity. At least the Bears have made it to a Super Bowl in the last 40 years. The Jets haven't made the Super Bowl since my parents got married, and they have been married for a long time.
But Mikey P, your take on someone saying they want to be a Jet or a Bear for life?
Well, if you want to be a Bear for life, you're probably the smartest football player to ever come into the NFL. If you want to be a Jet for life, you're probably the dumbest. You guys got to stop this Bears hate. This is ridiculous. Young Peyton, I had a lot of great things to say about you on your first hosting show, but that's all out the window. This is ridiculous. I am not taking any more Bear slander today.
I love it. Well, that's why I want to see you last.
Arlington Bears when they leave Soldier Field. They're never going to be the Chicago Bears. They're going to be the Arlington Bears.
We don't call them the Arlington Cowboys.
It's different. That's America's team.
Yeah. Fantastic job on one word, as always, from the guys. Glad we could get Raphael on here today. Raph, it was nice to see you hop in on one word.
Thanks. Thanks for inviting me. It was good. Someone invites me, not Weekend Wagers.
All right, guys. Coming up on the other side of the hour, we're going to talk Knicks and Pacers. Knicks last night win by a total of 111-94. Way to show up, Indiana, and way to show up Tyrese Halliburton, 8-2-6 at the stat line for that game. He didn't even put the ball in the cup. They didn't make a field goal until halftime. What are we doing there? What are we doing? Jalen Brunson, 32 points, 5-5, controlled the heck out of the game. We're going to get into that one later. Who's going to take game 6? And hey, a 2024 World Series rematch at the Ravine starts tonight in LA. Also, we're going to look into a rematch of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. So we got a real rematch coming that's already set and starts on Wednesday. It's Coach and Company on a Friday on Stadium.
And yes, it is the ending of the Inside the NBA on TNT, but it's the new beginning for us. I'm glad we're still together on whatever network we go to, and whatever network we come into, we bring in the pain. Just letting you know right now. Okay, I know everybody's sad that, it ain't gonna be the show. The show is still here, baby. You can never kill the four horsemen. We coming, and we coming to take spots, we coming to kick ass, and we coming to take names.
Take names!
And we doing it our way.
Hey, I love it.
So, okay?
Let's go play, Shaq. I'm ready to go
you
right
got
now.
It. So, you know, all
I'm ready, baby.
So, you know, all the sadness about that show, we coming with a whole brand new show, and we don't care who in our way. We coming to kick ass and take names.
Oh, I can play with. See, that's why I want to play with him. Can I be Ric Flair?
Yes.
Okay, we good.
Yes. We coming.
And the last thing.
The name changes, but the boys are here. We them boys. Don't ever forget it.
We them boys.
We them boys. We come in with a whole new brand show, and we don't care who's in our way. Soupy, your take.
Oh, man. Inside the NBA, it's one of the most legendary shows in their tenure. I don't care where they go. I am going to be watching. It's one of those rare things where I am intrigued in the post game. I don't care about post game. I just watch the game. But when it's inside the NBA with those four guys, I am all in.
It kind of sounds like a wrestling promo real quick, guys. I know Coach would like that. Well, will Inside the NBA continue to dominate despite switching networks, Mikey P?
I'm going to say no, and I'm going to watch the clock, because the moment Charles Barkley has anything that's borderline and ESPN tries to censor him or mute him, all those guys are going to walk away. I love Inside the NBA. For my money, the best sports studio show of all time, but the moment ESPN tries to start putting their hands into the pot, I think you're going to see guys walk away.
It's not going to happen. They too much money. You see what they do with Pat McAfee. They don't censor him, and that's their big money grab. I think the Inside the NBA is the same thing, because it does have a cult following that people love.
Raphael, quick, like 10 seconds. These guys are getting paid millions.
Stephen Smith and Pat McAfee are still there. Charles Barkley can say whatever he wants.
Definitely excited to see what the Four Horsemen will have in store for us come next season on ESPN. All right, we're back on Live Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. All right, one of my favorite segments on Coach and Company. Love talking hardwood, and man, we love to hoop it up. To 94, the final last night in New York. Jalen Brunson controlled the game. He had 32. It really felt like he had 52. And on the other side, Tyrese Halliburton, who was just one rebound shy of a triple-double at halftime of Game 4, goes for 8, 2, and 6 last night. Mikey P, I'm going to start with you here.
Aren't guys allowed to have a bad game, Peyton? I mean, you're trying to crucify a guy in Tyrese Halliburton who had one of the most epic games one game before that. And, it's so funny to me, because I feel like we've been talking about this on Coach and Company throughout this entire series. Can the Knicks fans relax? I mean, every made shot was like the NBA Finals was right there. They were going to hoist the trophy. Let's relax. Game 6, Indiana's going to come in. They're going to take down the Knicks. They're going to close out this series, and Tyrese Halliburton will have another great game. Just pump the brakes, Knicks fans.
Now, I'm going off here on Tyrese Halliburton because he's supposedly the face of the franchise. What face of the franchise has 8 points in a huge playoff game? Soupy, your take.
Yeah, I hope this isn't something like the James Harden disease where you don't come through in the big game. They have another chance. What the Knicks did was limit the Pacers shooting. This is a high volume, fast paced team. You have to slow them down. And that's what they did. They emphasized on pass, catch, and shoot. And they weren't able to get that done. And when they got their shoots, those were a lot of contested shots, not clean. That's why they only shot 40% compared to the Knicks 49%. They just had to keep running it with Cat and Jalen. And they could possibly pull this upset, this 3-1 deficit. They could possibly come through.
I think so too. I think they got a pretty good shot here. Someone's got to be up 3-2 in a series, and that's what we're doing right now back in Indiana. Big Chuck, we're bringing you in. Just 94 points from the Pacers isn't exactly a recipe for the over in which we had yesterday. The total is now at 220.5 for game 6.
I'm actually seeing some, was it 218s.5? It was
Oh, wow.
220 when it come out. It's actually went down. I was kind of curious, but that's kind of builds into the Knicks formula. If you've seen the correlation, Knicks and under, Pacers and over, and this one kind of tells you that they're liking the Knicks. I will be interested to see who's going to be refereeing this game if they bring in Scott Foster. That way they can try to get it to the 3-3. And you know that the networks want a 3-3 going back to the Garden, but I'll stick with that correlation. If you like the Knicks, you like the under. If you like the Pacers, you like the over.
Yeah, without question, I agree. And that just comes with the Pacers not being able to make some shots down the stretch. I want to bring in Raph real quick. I want to check in with you here as we look into the NBA Finals odds and how those are moving around now that the Knicks took game 5.
Well, yesterday we posted OKC be minus $7 favorite if the Pacers would have won. So that's telling me if the Knicks win this series, that means OKC could be minus 800 probably because they would be more dominant with the way the Knicks have playing in their short bench and how deep OKC is. Now, this total, as Big Chuck just said, we could see this number close at 218.5. That's telling me the amount of money the Knicks are coming in right now. And you think Knicks and under, Pacers and over. So keep an eye on it. If you like the over, wait, because we could see a number come 218 or even 217.5.
Wow, 217 dropping maybe 3 points of what I saw last night. I want to go back to the guys real quick. Mike, excuse me. I want to start with you on this one. Who would you rather think the Thunder would want to face in this series?
I would probably say the Indiana Pacers, right? I think that's kind of the common logic out there is because the pace, even though the Knicks haven't been there in a very long time, it's really Halliburton on the Pacers and then who? Pascal Siakam is a fantastic player, but SGA could more than likely cook up Halliburton on the offensive side of the ball. And then you have Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and then the other guys, the role players. Give me Lou Dort over Aaron Nesmith any day of the week. The thing that I would be most concerned about for the Knicks is if they were to make it, how tired are they going to be? Because we know how Tom Thibodeau loves to run their guys into the ground.
It's crazy to see, and Soupy, it's crazy to think that Jalen Brunson is not getting tired in some of these. Okay, we know he is, but he's not showing it in the fourth quarter. It's absolutely insane because from the jump, he's getting full court press and Aaron Nesmith's body right in his chest, and he's playing fantastic defense on him, but Brunson is just a better scorer. How is this guy not tired?
That's what I'm trying to think too, is because they're also trying to emphasis having Jalen Brunson play defense. They're trying to wear him out on both sides of the court. And the way he's been playing the last couple of games, it does not look like he's. This is what superstars do, though. You saw it in the round against Detroit when he hit that game winner to basically end the series. This is what superstars do. He's coming through. Halliburton has to come through. That's their superstar. He can't have another game like that, especially with it in the field house in game 6. He has to come through in this big game to get to the Pacers to the NBA Finals.
Without question. And we see in the chat right here, JC1, would that game 7 be a TNT game? I believe TNT has the entire series of the Eastern Conference Finals. So, yes, I believe it will be a TNT game. Big Chuck, I want to come over to you, my friend, because these guys in Indiana seem like the better team in the series. On paper, though, not exactly that way. Who would you think the Thunder would rather face?
The Knicks all day. I think the Pacers would be a worse nightmare for them just based off the way they play. They keep coming their depth. I think the Knicks, they would dispatch them easily. I just think the Pacers would be the worst case scenario. And just imagine this also, speaking of Jalen Brunson, can you imagine he was on the Mavericks also? So the Mavericks have gotten rid of both Jalen Brunson and Luka in the past 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, without question. And you see that the Knicks, I mean, they seem like a great team. I think the Thunder should probably dominate those guys. I think we'd have a better series, honestly, if we see the Pacers, but we don't really think that way when we think about the Indiana Pacers. We kind of think they're on kind of a Cinderella type story, but these guys are knocking down all these shots. They're playing fantastic defense. It's also pretty darn fun to watch them. So I would not mind an Indiana Pacers NBA Finals. All right, let's switch gears real quick to the Diamond guys. In a 2024 World Series rematch tonight, Max Fried, the hometown hero, the pride of Harvard Westlake High School, right here in Studio City, California. He will be taking on Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers tonight. Max Fried 7-0 thus far, an ERA of 1.29 for the Yanks, a historic start. Soupy, are we watching a preview of what will be back-to-back World Series against these two franchises?
I think so. I love the way the Dodgers are playing again too. Even with the National League being it's a very much of a parody. I think there's a lot of teams that you could give a argument to, especially in that NL West. The Padres, the Giants are good again this year. The Diamondbacks. I still think it's the Dodgers. And in the American League East, I don't see a team really that could compete with the Yankees. I think the American League East is regressing more than I thought it would have. And then the same thing with the Central. I think there's a lot of good teams in the Central. I just don't think there's a great team. I think Seattle's actually a good team. They're playing a lot better this year, but I don't think they have the balance of pitching and hitting like the Yankees do. If I had to put my money on it right now, yeah, I'm putting in a World Series rematch.
Yeah, Mikey P, what do you think about a Yanks-Dodgers World Series rematch? You probably don't like to hear it, but what do you think about that?
I definitely don't like to hear it, and I'll say this, it's May 30th, but I have to agree with Soupy. No one in the AL East is going to contend with the Yankees, who I would just say, looking at this series, everything's paying off for both of these teams. How many teams could say, oh, we lost Juan Soto, and that's okay? Aaron Judge off to a historic start. Max Fried is on fire, and the Dodgers, they just have Shohei Ohtani. So these are the two best teams that we're seeing in baseball. Would I be surprised? No. Do I want it? Also, no.
You know what, Mikey P, to your point, you just said it's only May 30th. Yeah, these guys are missing their entire staff here. The Yankees, Garrett Cole out. Everyone has forgot about Louis Heel of the Yankees and how dominant he was last year. The Dodgers, on the other hand, no Tyler Glass now, no Blake Snell. I mean, these guys don't have their guys on the mound. Ohtani hasn't even thrown a pitch in 2 years since the Angels. Hey, come on now. Shout out Angels. And by the way, guys, this will be the first game ever of 3 MVPs in the same lineup. Big Chuck, 3 MVPs in the same lineup.
Should be a good one. And I watched this number kind of go up. Yankees have really taken some money. This total has went up also. And I'm just not as impressed with the Yankees as a lot are. After Judge, that lineup is kind of weak to me. Plus the pitching staff is kind of, with them being banged up, I'm not a big believer in the Yankees pitching staff. I think that AL Central will have something to say about it. Maybe even a little of that AL West at the end of the day. So, yeah, but this should be a good one. I was surprised to see how big of favorites the Yankees have become. I'm curious to see what it's going to be once this line closes.
Without question. And Soup, let me go back to you real quick, because Paul Goldschmidt of the Yankees might be hitting the quietest 347 anyone has ever seen before, and that's because he's in Aaron Judge's shadow.
And I was a big proponent of this signing because I said, this is essentially going to be the guy who's going to hit behind Judge and maybe try to protect him. I said, Paul Goldschmidt, after last year in St. Louis, he had one of his worst seasons, but man, he's really benefiting from hitting again behind a MVP, and he's having an MVP season himself.
Without question. And Mikey P, going over to you because Freddie Freeman is hitting the quietest 359 that you're ever going to see behind Shohei Ohtani's shadow.
And here's a guy who you were just mentioning, a bunch of players who were missing time due to injury. Freddie Freeman was battling an injury coming into the season. So I love to see it, right? He's proven himself as one of baseball's best. He continues to be that. And young Peyton, thank you, because I couldn't continue to give glory to New York Yankees. I'm wearing the Fenway greens that just released, right? I cannot give any more Yankee love. And the Red Sox need to call up Roman Anthony. That's all I got.
Big Chuck, real quick, Yankees or Dodgers in this series?
Go and give me the Dodgers.
I like it. All right, still to come, we look at a rematch on the ice of the Stanley Cup Finals, and a lot of us weren't here at the top of the hour, so we lock it in for you in a few moments. Guys, It's Coach and Company live on a Friday on Stadium.
Indianapolis, Indiana. We got some big wigs from the big city in the building. Spike Lee is here. Ben Stiller is here. Timothy Chalamet is here. Let's send these sons of bitches back to New York with their ears ringing. Let's turn this shit on!
Guys, I bring this up now because, and I know this happened a few days ago before the Game 4 game, but this took place really yesterday. That's why I'm bringing it back up, is that John Cougar Mellencamp, an Indiana native, just called out McAfee yesterday, taking to X, formerly known as Twitter, writing, "I was not proud to be a Hoosier." Soupy, should Indiana be embarrassed by McAfee's lack of Hoosier hospitality?
Well, let's talk a little ditty about John and Pat right here. No, it's sports. It's competition. All Pat's doing is talking about his love and his fandom of his hometown of Indiana, even though he's actually from Pittsburgh. I don't know how he became all of a sudden, just because he punted for the Colts for a few years, he's all of a sudden an Indiana guy, but okay. No, it's all about competition. This is a fun little thing that they're doing.
Mikey P, do we agree with McAfee? Do we agree with Mellencamp?
Definitely agree with McAfee. Listen, this guy is in the pro wrestling business. He is Mr. Indianapolis right now. He is getting the home crowd fired up. Relax. All right. We don't know when the Pacers are going to be back in this position. Let him get them fired up. Have a little bit of fun. Relax.
Relax. I could have went without the language, guys. Honestly, I was really all for it, and so were the players, and so was Rick Carlisle at the end. Come on, that was hilarious. But I will add, it's hard for me to roll with Mellencamp on this one, because when everyone in his suite, I don't know if you guys saw, is standing for the national anthem, and he chose to remain seated. Just putting that out there. Just throwing that out there. All right, we'll be back on Stadium live in just 5 seconds. Welcome back to Coach and Company. Oh man, are we having a good one today? And we need to get right back into it and throw our skates on for a quick second. And I'm going immediately to our boy Mark from JTS, because we can't do this show today without mentioning a rematch from the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals. Mark, you had Edmonton winning last night. You had Leon Draisaitl getting a point. He had 2 assists. You couldn't have been more on top of it. But now we're looking at a brand new series. Mark, your 2025 Stanley Cup winner is
the Florida Panthers, and here's why. They are built for this moment. They're deeper, they're more balanced, they're better equipped than Edmonton to take home the Stanley Cup for a third time. Let's start up front. Barkov is a two-way force. Tkachuk is a nightmare in the crease, and Brad Marchand adds another level of championship DNA to an already loaded forward group. Defensively, Florida's got the edge. Ekbal, Forsling, and Seth Jones give the Panthers a blue line that just can move the puck and shut down McDavid at the same time. Look, McDavid and Draisaitl are game breakers. I'm not taking anything away from Edmonton, but it's Florida's depth that rolls 4 lines deep. Their defense wins battles, and that edge matters. Give me Florida here in a war. Look for 6, maybe 7 games. I'd love to see 7, but in the end, the Cats lift the cup again.
Soupy. I mean, the Panthers' depth has been really what they've been all about the past couple of years. This is why it's the 3rd time they're going to be back. But all they've really added, Brad Marchand. Your take.
Yeah, they have excellent depth too, but the Oilers have that same amount of depth. Of course, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are probably the 2 best forwards in the league right now. And as you go for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he had like 1,000 points in this series. He's going to be helpful. And then you see guys like Connor Brown and Corey Perry, even with Zach Hyman out. Yeah, Evan Bouchard was 3rd in the playoffs for the Oilers. I think even without Zach Hyman, still think they have a good chance, especially with that defense playing a lot better. They have been pressuring the point, and they're going to try to do that against the Panthers. Limit those shots. Do not give Skinner a ton of pressure. And I think they could get through this series.
Mikey P, real quick, Florida looks real tough to beat, but the Oilers offense just keeps pouring it on teams, and we really saw it in this Dallas series. I know we mentioned a little bit earlier, but a little more in depth on who you got in this series.
I got the Oilers. I think, it's going to be an entertaining and fantastic series. These two teams are the cream of the crop, right? And when you look at it for me, and I think for the National Hockey League, for anyone who's just tuning in, because there's nothing better than playoff hockey, you want to see the most electric teams and the most electric players. So I want to see Connor McDavid put on a show. I want to see him hold up the trophy at the end, and I want to see the Edmonton Oilers take this series.
The Panthers dominated last year and go out and pick up one of the best in the league in Brad Marchand. I just don't see how you beat these guys with him and Sergei Bobrovsky goaltending, but you have Connor McDavid, the face of the NHL, and he is trying to win his first Stanley Cup as game 1 of the NHL Finals begins Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. All right. We know a lot of you guys couldn't be here at the top of the hour. Why? Because you have a life. If you've been here from the jump, I would rethink things. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to lock it in. Lock it in. Here we go. Let's get it, Soupy.
I'm starting with the Dodgers. Under a run in the first 3. Max Fried is going in their first plate appearance. Batters are hitting just 167. So if he can get those first 3, just going through that first time in the batting order, this could be a shutout in the first 3. Suns plus 12.5 going against the Fever without Caitlin Clark. I don't think the Suns are going to win. They don't have the offense for it. But the Fever's defense is a little shaky, so I think they could score some points. Keep this in with at least one digits.
So did you say no Caitlin Clark?
No Caitlin Clark.
All right, so you're going to be one of 4 watching that game. Raphael?
Yeah, you can add 5th because I'll be watching that game. My first game, I'm going with the baseball between the Twins and Mariners. We're going to take this game going over 7 minus 3 nickels. The Twins are throwing out Zebby Matthews. Who the heck names their kid Zebby, first of all? And your ERA is 7. So I think the Mariners score some early runs. I'll take the over at 7. And then give me WNBA betting action today. Give me Sparks Aces, both teams to score over 77.5. Sparks' last 5 games, their defense is giving up 85 points a game. High-paced game. Kelsey Plum comes back. Big points on the board tonight.
Zebby Matthews. Let's start calling him Zebby Sevens. Why not? Mikey P, where are we going?
I am going with the diamond picks today. My 2 favorite picks in Major League Baseball. I'm going to start with the guy on the mound for the Arizona Diamondbacks, Merrill Kelly. 5 or more strikeouts at a minus 125. He has hit the over in these in his last 4 starts, and the national strikeout just under 8 times a game. So give me Merrill Kelly over 5 or more strikeouts in this game. And then one of the best players no one's even talking about, that's Jacob Wilson of the Athletics. 2 or more total bases. It's a plus 110 because you've never heard of him. He is the leading candidate for the AL Rookie of the Year for the Athletics. I like Jacob Wilson. 2 or more total bases. He's got the 3rd best batting average in Major League Baseball.
Big Chuck.
Footy Friday, and we have a full Saturday card. Champions League final, PSG, Inter Milan, and with PSG averaging 1.8 team goals on the road and Inter Milan 1.3 during European play. First play is going to be both teams to score. I see 1-1 at worst. Then Inter Milan over 3.5 corners. They've averaged 5.8 during the season. I think just numbers just too low. Then we go to a little MLS Saturday night. Orlando City welcomes Chicago Fire to Florida. We're going to go with both teams to score an over 2.5. This is cash in 8 of these 2 teams' last 11 combined matches. Then Inter Miami, Columbus Crew, first half over 1.5 goals. They produced 2 or more first half goals in 5 of their last 8 meetings. And lastly, Lionel Messi, anytime goal scorer. He has actually scored 5 goals in his last 6 matches.
And if you want to be a part of what our boy Charles is all about, all you have to do is scan the QR code right there, man, producer man. How about that timing? For those of you who don't know, we throw our results of our best bets every night into an email chain. And I'm being completely honest, I've never seen someone have so many green check marks in their email chains. But if you want to talk about someone who's red hot right now, and I'm not talking about the suntan he's got from the beach out there, Mark from JTS has been on a tear lately. Mark, what is our JTS play of the day?
The play of the day today is we're going to focus on the MLB with a hit parlay. We're going to start with Paul Goldschmidt to get at least one hit today. Goldie's done this in 40 of 54 games and in 6 of his last 6. Expect him to get at least one tonight. We're also going to pair that with Nico Horner playing out in Wrigley to get at least one hit. He's done this in 18 of 25 home games, and against Cincinnati, he's averaging 1.3 hits a game. Put them both together for a plus 102. Just the Stat Sports play of the day.
All right. Thanks, Mark. And we end our shows with making you all just a little bit smarter with Raphael's inside info.
Home games, 12 of them have gone over the total. Why is this total 7? It should be 8 with a Zeppy on the mound with an ERA of 7. I don't understand this number.
Zebby Sevens. That's his new name. ERA of over 7. Zebby Matthews still searching for his first win of the season. Just 7 innings thrown. Wow. What a day, guys. That show flew by. Oh, my goodness. 7. Wow. 56 minutes completely gone. Unbelievable.
Where'd the time go?
I know.
Absolutely insane.
Great job. Great job.
Guys.
And no one muted themselves.
Well, let me just say that was absolutely awesome. I had the best time with all you guys, especially you, Soupy. Especially you. That was one heck of a time.
Too bad the feeling isn't mutual.
All right, producer man, it's time to get out of here. My dad needs his studio back. Plus, mom's making pancakes. I want to thank the entire crew for today's show. Big Soupy, Raphael, Mikey P, Chuck, our boy Mark from JTS, and producer man himself, making everything look fantastic. My name is Peyton Lodge, wishing you all one heck of a weekend. And thanks for checking us out wherever and however you were able to catch us today. This is Coach and Company live on Stadium.